long time no see. Weeks. It must be 6 weeks. The reason is, and a story I'm going to tell you, you'll find it a little bit unbelievable, but it happened to me, and it could happen to anyone. I had a mini stroke. No, I didn't. I was about to. I was sitting here in front of my computer about 6 weeks ago, and I saw the transit, the astrological. I thought it's time for the second. I had a feeling they was due. I had one, as you know, some time ago. I felt a light being standing next to me. I felt him there, definitely. He held my hand and pressed in the palm in a certain place, and he stood there for about 10 minutes. I was actually saying all my stuff, and the two of us were at it, and you could feel the energy passing through. Now, it's very much like the story of the Feast of the Passover in the Bible, when the Spirit, passes the doors of the lentils with the blood on, and it passes by. And it's possible that energy was, could have, I could have had a stroke, and that would have been the end, because it would have been quite a serious one. So this was something magical and beautiful, and I've been forever grateful, although I know I still haven't got long to go. But there are obviously some things I have to clear up before I do. I haven't felt right, I must admit. They will have had an effect on me, I'm sure, but I know who it was now, but it was just magical. About 10, 50, I don't know, 10 minutes probably, you could feel the energy. So that's the miracle story. It does sound a little bit unbelievable, but I know it happened to me. And I couldn't feel the energy, but I knew there was something going on, and obviously this being had the power. I mean, what power? What power to hold back or to at least filter the storm. So that's the first little story, and the second one is about, I have to put two in. A friend of mine said the attention span of people isn't very long, but I don't care. You can always watch it in two doses. This is another real story, a little psychic story about a very dear friend, very helpful, kind friend. And the story starts off a boiled egg, hard-boiled egg, because that's what triggered it. Many years ago, it's about 50 years ago, I suppose, when I first left my husband, I was very friendly with a couple. They were a dear couple, very sweet, Sally and Mark. And him especially was a lovely, lovely man. And he used to come round for chats. He was very interested in the psychic stuff, He used to come round for psychic chats. And he actually sent me a card, a lovely card. Thank you for your time and for your teaching and all that. It was really beautiful. And Sally was a friend also. So I did miss the two of them when I moved away from Bristol to here, which is about 200 miles. I don't know why I didn't keep in touch with them really, but I guess I was in a bit of a state and it was time to move on. And that, we didn't have a computer in those days, of course. It's much more easy now to keep in touch with people. So anyway, I moved on and lost touch, and that was that. But at the time I was there, I hadn't long left my husband, and I was living on my own in a semi-detached, and I was very, very lonely, crying a lot, and nobody knows how lonely it is. If you leave your husband or wife and you've got no one to go with or go to, you're on your own. And it's not just being on your own, it's other stuff. You lose everybody that you know, you're thrust into a different world, which I might go into one day. But anyway, I was on my own, and it was about 3 in the morning, and I was desperate, really frightened. And I rang my friend Sally. Bless her, she answered the phone. She said, Mark will come round. I said, come round? It's about 3 miles walk, 3 miles away. They hadn't got a car, and I feel quite tearful thinking about it. What kindness. He was, I suppose, in his 30s, I don't know. But anyway, I sat there and waited, and he turned up. I don't know how long it took him, but he was a good walker, obviously, and he knew the way. But it was all main roads, But he sat next to me, and I just talked, and he just, I don't think he even held my hand. He just sat with me, and I just talked my way through the drama, because I was, and Sally said she didn't realise how lonely her mum had been. Isn't that sad? And I've put my glasses on a minute. I'm not wearing them because I thought I'd give you a treat. everything's gone. I'm getting older and older, and things go. I've got like can't put earrings in, lipstick, because my hands are shaking. I've lost one of my hands. I think that's a stroke. Can't write anymore. Anyway, so this was the strokes. The Mark story, and I'd been to see them one day, and it was a very, very cold day, and I didn't look after myself. Right, not eating. I still don't really. On your own, it's very difficult to cook a whole, casserole. So I tend to have shortcuts, and I like hard-boiled eggs. I always keep them in the fridge because if you get desperate, have a hard-boiled egg. It goes with anything, and so he said to me, Beth, he said, it's freezing cold out there, and all you've had is a hard-boiled egg. And we laughed about it. Anyway, the other day, I was in a similar state, and I was thinking, what can I have? I'll do some hard-boiled eggs. And I came in here to sit, not to do anything particularly, and I could feel this presence around me, and it was Mark, the friend from Bristol of 50 years ago. And I didn't ask, well, I don't know if I saw him or no, I felt him around me, and he said to me something about the eggs. So the hard-boiled egg brought him to me because it was a link, you see, and we had a little chat, and it was just like old times. It was so peculiar, and I looked up, and it was dark, and there was this sparkling, twinkling. I can't describe it. It was him. He was obviously ascended, and he'd gone on very high places. It wasn't the person standing there. It was this sparkling, twinkling light. And it was just like he was there in the room. I really find that absolutely incredible because, I mean, not only 50 years ago, but the fact that he could pick up on that hard-boiled egg story. So I don't know. It's all very magical at the moment, isn't it? And I'm not sure I should do any more. That's 7 minutes. I know my friend said you give people far too long. I said, well, some people do like a long time. I can't think of any. I have got lots of stories. I could make you laugh, actually. One, I think I could tell it. It's a little bit, well, risque, but it's a good story. Many years ago, when I was a little girl, say 2.5, 3 years ago, we used to go to Nottingham to visit. And I was always a good little girl. I was. My sister, I had a sister who was about younger, and we used to go by train. And it was quite a journey. Change at Derby, dog, 2 kids, mother in a panic. It's a bit of a story. Anyway, we did manage it. And on the way home back one day, my mum said to me, would you sit down, Barbara, and change your pants with your sister? Because she's rolling about all over the place. She's forgotten to put them on. Well, my mother had, of course. And I don't know how I felt at the time. I think it would be humiliating for anybody to have to change their knickers on a train. Anyway, we managed it, and things happen, don't they? But the other day, I was in my bedroom, and I thought, what on earth is in this drawer? There is so much stuff. Guess what? Full of knickers. Every colour imaginable. I've had dozens of them. And I suddenly thought, my goodness me, that is amazing. That's the memory from when I was about 3 or 4 years old. No, I'd be about 4 or 5, I guess. And that was a memory that I had to stock up just in case my sister was coming. So I don't know, that's another funny story. And another funny story is, I'll tell you another one. I'm on a roll now. Oh, what time is it? How long have we had? I've got a lot, you see. I have been building up, haven't I? Oh, we've got time for another one. And I think it's about patterns, changing patterns. It's surprising how you stay in a pattern for a very long time, even though it's not a good one. But this is not too bad. As you know, I'm very housebound. I haven't been out of the house for 3 years. So I'm very housebound. I'm fed up with it, getting claustrophobia, and I'm sick. And well, most of the time. I've stopped driving my car's gone. I'm a different... Anyway. So I was sitting in my kitchen. I've got a lovely cherry tree just outside the door, in the field, actually. And I'm very lucky because I water it in all seasons. I sit there, have my tea, and I have it with the cherry tree. And it's a beautiful, beautiful tree. And I thought, I love that cherry tree. I love cherries actually, although I think only the female one has the cherries. And then suddenly one day a memory came rushing back in of my childhood when I was about, I suppose, 5 or 6. That was school years. And I was in this house and I was in the bedroom, the back bedroom, and I think I was ill with tonsillitis. In those days you couldn't have antibiotics, you had to stay home, usually for about 6 weeks, lost all your schooling, and you stayed home for this 6 weeks. And I looked out the window, I thought, there's a cherry tree. High wall, the cherry tree was over the wall, but of course during cherry tram we used to get loads and loads of cherries, and I was in bed and I was unwell and fed up, just doing colouring and drawing like kids do, so I'm still doing it. I'm still in a cherry tree, sitting here colouring and drawing, well not quite, but writing. And I thought, I'm going to have to stop this. I'm going to have to stop getting into my past patterns and start to get moving and do something worthwhile. Forget the cherry tree. Anyway, my dear ones, I think a little selection of stories for the time being, and I hope to see you again soon. I'm still a bit tired actually. I do get very tired, obviously, but I'm an old lady. You won't guess how old I am, but I'm an old lady. I'm older than I look. This is why I've got the glasses off. I've got so many wrinkles now, they keep appearing. And I'm thinking, oh dear, it is sad, isn't it? I mean, look at some of the actors. I think Clint Eastwood, he's 90 something, and all these old actors still keep going, don't they? Robertson, but you have Robert Redford, my favourite actor. And they're all, I think I'm the only one left. Al Pacino. No, he's my age. So in good company, but you can't go on forever. So one day I won't be. Anyway, darlings, take care of yourselves, won't you? And do bear in mind anything's possible. Anything's possible. God bless for now.